You say you want to become a different man, stronger, disciplined, focused. But if you still think the same way as the people around you, you'll stay exactly where you are. Because you can't become him if you still think like them. Average thinking protects comfort. How most people think, guys, shit, this is how I used to think. Let's avoid discomfort. Let's do the bare minimum. Wait for motivation. Just get through the week. Let's just get until we get to Friday and we got the weekend off. Why this mindset, guys, keeps people stuck. Comfort is a silent killer of growth, right? Discipline requires friction. Average thinking is designed to protect comfort, not create progress. To make gains or make progress, it's going to get a little bit uncomfortable. We need a bit of friction sometimes. And in the friction is where the growth is. If you're living week to week, day to day, and there's not a little bit of struggle or there's not really any struggle at all, probably doing something wrong, guys. We need to step out that comfort zone as much as we can. So, right, this leads me on to point number 2. High level men think long term. The average mindset, guys, is what should I do today that's going to make me happy? What's going to make me feel good today? No, just no. We need to cut that shit out. We need to have a growth mindset, right? So, what can I do today that will help me tomorrow? What is going to give me a positive return on investment on myself? That's the way I look at it. What is a positive reward to risk ratio? Does the reward outweigh the risk? For example, guys, training when you don't feel like it. If you do that long enough, you're going to gain a decent amount of muscle or get your dream physique. If you do the opposite and you keep avoiding it when you don't feel like it, you're probably not going to obtain the physique that you want. It's probably just not going to happen. Saving money instead of spending. Saving money will mean you will have savings. You will have money to fall back on, right? Doing the opposite would mean you will go broke. We cannot afford to go broke, guys. That's another one. Working when others want to relax. Same again. If you catch your friends, peers, or people around you relaxing and you're working more than them, there will become a point where you will overtake them people. It's just mathematics. It's just science. It's just the way the world is. You do more output, you end up getting more results. It's just a simple equation, and that's what it is in life as well. So, yeah. So most people, guys, make decisions for today. High level men make decisions for their future. So you decide which man you want to be. So, right, you must separate, guys, from certain mindsets. Right, that doesn't mean if someone's got a different mindset to you, you go and you punch them in the face. No, it doesn't mean that you hate them. It doesn't mean that you start an all-out war with them. No, this is not what I'm saying. But you have to recognize it. You're going to have to recognize that some environments, some mindsets, and some things are not good for you, or they're not on the same level as you. For example, some people would think life is unfair. I've been handed a disadvantage from the start. The cards are not right for me. Why work so hard? Just enjoy life. Life is made for living. If everyone around you thinks small, thinking bigger will feel uncomfortable. But that discomfort is growth. So if you do feel like that, and that is the case, that means you have probably outgrown your surroundings, and you probably have a separate mindset from the people around you now, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Which then leads me on to point number 4. Your identity must change. The real transformation is identity, guys, not actions. It's actually what happens upstairs. It's making that switch upstairs. Instead of saying, I should work hard, I should be disciplined, we need to make that switch and think, that's just what I do. I am disciplined. I do work hard. That's just who I am. That's what I do. It's part of my identity, That little flip and switch, it really, really makes a difference, You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your identity. You fall to who you are, or who you say you are internally, again and again. Once identity changes, behavior follows naturally, guys. It's a very easy process after that. But if you have your identity messed up and then you're trying to change the behavior, it's going to be very, very hard. If you're saying to yourself all the time, oh, I should do this, I should be motivated, you're kind of telling yourself that you're not. And it's going to be very hard to keep up to living a disciplined life, And motivation, guys, we know what it is with motivation. Motivation is not there all the time. Motivation comes and goes, so we definitely cannot wait for that. When it's there, it's beautiful. Like I said, use it to your utmost. Make the most out of it, because motivation is great when it's there. We have 12 months in a year. It's probably there like 3, so it's a bit useless, to be honest, if you ask me. But yeah, guys, identity, big game changer. So can't become him if you still think like them.